Hello students and welcome to our School at Home class in English 7. I hope everyone is delighted and excited to learn our new lesson for today. Today's lesson is the prosodic features of speech. Here are our learning objectives. At the end of the discussion, the students will be able to, number 1, recognize prosodic speech features such as volume, projection, pitch, stress, intonation, juncture, and speech rate that serve as carriers of meaning. The second is listen for important points signaled by volume, projection, pitch, stress, intonation, juncture, and rate of speech. And lastly, note the changes in volume, pitch, stress, intonation, juncture, and speech rate that affect meaning. Are you ready to learn? Let's have our first activity for today. I have here 3 pictures of 3 different emotions. Would you be able to guess what these emotions are? Let's have this first one. What is this? That's right, this one is happy. How about this one? Quite difficult. This one is actually bored. And then the last one is, that's right, this one is sad. Now I have here a sentence flashing on your screen. It says, I have homework tonight. Now we need to say it in 3 different emotions. Say it in a happy tone. Excellent. You may say, I have homework tonight. That means you are excited, or the speaker is excited to do his or her homework. Now, say it in this tone. That's right. You may say, I have homework tonight. It means that you don't want to do your homework because there's no fun in it. Then the last one is, I have homework tonight. It might mean that you're really upset, you have problem, or you're just really sad and you don't feel like you can do your homework. Now that we're familiar with these different emotions and the meanings behind them, let's go ahead and have our second activity, shall we? I have here 3 sentences. If you look closely, they're all actually the same. The difference is there are words that are capitalized and underlined. Now what we need to do is to read these sentences and emphasize these 3 capitalized words. Are you ready? Let's go. The first one is, repeat after me. I love school. What do you think this first sentence mean? I love school. It means the speaker does love school. The second one is, I love school. I love school. What do you think does this sentence mean? It means that the speaker loves school, but he also says that the listener does not love school. Only I love school. Then the third sentence is, repeat after me. I love school. I love school. What do you think does this sentence mean? It means that the speaker does love school, but he doesn't love anything else. I love school, just a school. Now, let's read all those sentences again. I love school. I love school. I love school. Very good. Now that we're familiar with different tones and the meanings behind them, what does your tone of voice convey? And did it change the meaning of the sentences? If your answer is it conveys feelings or emotions, that's actually correct. And whenever we change the tone of our voice, it changes the emotions of our statements, and it does change the meaning of the sentence, even if it's just a single sentence. Being familiar with different tones and different meanings, what do you think are the other factors in the sound of your voice that affects the way you send your message to other people? If you answered volume, projection, pitch, stress, tone, intonation, juncture, then you're absolutely correct. Those features are called prosodic features of speech. Now let's learn more. The first prosodic feature of speech is what we call stress. It is the way we give emphasis to a specific word. We often say it loudly, or it is written in bold or italics, or in our case earlier, it was all capitalized. Now we need to know the words that should be stressed and those words that should be unstressed in a sentence. The words that need to be stressed are called content words. Content words are the nouns, verbs, adjectives, the negative words with no, like nowhere or nobody, and the words that are expressing quantities such as a lot, many, few. Those are what we call content words, and they should be stressed. The words that should be unstressed are called function words. They only serve as grammatical function with little identifiable meaning. The examples of function words are determiners, auxiliary verbs such as don't, am, can, or where. Same with the prepositions, conjunctions, pronouns, and verbs like have and be, even if they are used as the main verbs. The second feature is what we call pitch. It is the highness or the lowness in speech tone. The third feature is what we call intonation. It is the rise and the fall in the speaker's voice. It is being used to separate the statement from a question, to emphasize specific elements of a message, or to just convey emotions. One of the common examples of the use of intonation are the WH questions, and here are more examples. The first one is when action is the main focus. For example, what are you doing? The second is when the person being asked is the main focus of the interrogator. For example, what are you doing? The fourth one is when the answer is close-ended, if it's answerable by yes or no. For example, yes, I'm doing the dishes. And then lastly, when someone is interviewed. Let's have our example here. Read it with me. Do you do the dishes? Now our fourth feature is what we call juncture. It is a pause or a slight delay in a continuous flow of speech. Pauses are intervals of silence between or within words, phrases, or sentences. There are actually benefits of pausing effectively, such as it helps the listener to be understood better. Second is it can help you convey your emotion. And lastly, it can control the overall pace of your delivery, especially if you're doing a speech or if you're speaking in public. The fifth feature is what we call volume and projection. It is the loudness and the softness of our voice. We need to take note that we should avoid the extremes of both, being too loud or being too soft. If we're being too loud, it can be uncomfortable for the listener, and if it's too soft, we might not be understood anymore. We should keep it in an acceptable middle range. The sixth feature is what we call speech rate. It is the speed or the tempo of our speech delivery. Sometimes we use speech rate to emphasize our message to, for example, older people. We tend to speak slowly. And then lastly, if we combine the first up to the sixth feature, we're going to produce a tone. A tone conveys attitude. It can convey our humor, anger, sarcasm, or it can be jealousy or sincerity. Now, those are all the prosodic features of speech. Now, prosodic features are the features that appear when we put sounds together in a connected speech. It is important for us to learn these prosodic features because it will help us become successful and effective in communication. Again, we need to take note that it's not only what we say, but how we say it. I hope everything is clear about this lesson. Are you ready to test your knowledge? Let's go with our last activity. On the side is the direction to follow. We need to listen carefully and take note of the changes, especially in those stressed and underlined words. Match the sentence in column A to its meaning in column B. Are you ready? Let's go ahead and start. Number 1. Repeat after me. I said she might consider a new haircut. Number 2. I said she might consider a new haircut. Number 3. I said she might consider a new haircut. Number 4. I said she might consider a new haircut. And number 5. I said she might consider a new haircut. Now match the column A to column B. Are you ready to reveal the answers? Now let's see. Here are our answers. Number 1, the answer is letter B. The sentence means, it was my idea. Number 2, the answer is letter C. It means, don't you understand me? Number 3, the answer is letter D. It means not another person. Number 4, the answer is letter A. It's a possibility. And number 5, the answer is letter E. She should think about it. So how did you do? I bet you got high scores. Congratulations! Post your scores in the comments. Now before I let you go, I need to make sure that you learned a lot from today's lesson. I want you to get a pen and paper and complete this statement. I have learned that. Complete that with all of your learnings and your takeaways from this lesson. We've successfully completed another lesson. You did a great job. Thank you for listening, and until we meet again, bye!